going to Chicago, I was supposed to be a Chicago Bull first. At least that what Jerry Krause told me to my 3 meetings as a high school as a
so
cop.
you're talking about draft. You were
He was like, I'm going to draft you, and Doug Collins was like, yeah, and I went and I hung out with Reinsdorf, who I still am really cool with because I do an event with him in Vegas.
Yeah,
and I went 3 times, and then they said the 9th pick. The Chicago Bulls, and I started buttoning my suit. They said, Brad Sellers, and then I stretched. I was like, and I was like, and so I told Jerry, he goes, hey, long, tall, he shoots the ball better than you do. I said, no, he doesn't. He goes, I said, well, I'm going to take it out on him every time I play.
And did you?
Oh, yeah. And Brad Sellers is a good guy to me, but he didn't know what my idea was. My idea was I'm playing against you. I'm glad we won some of those games, but I was on a personal vendetta against him, Boston Celtics, who else? Washington Bullets, Philadelphia 76ers, like certain places that had me come in and didn't draft me, I went at them. But to go back to his question, when I got out of my deal in Toronto, and this may be controversial the way I say it, I was the only free slave in the NBA. And what I mean by that is I bought my rights back. So I had my waivers, and I can choose where I wanted to go.
Yes.
And when Jerry Krause called, I said yes. And James Edwards Buddha was already there, and Dennis was taking over at that spot. We went in, and for everybody out there, the NBA is like IBM. You play in the Los Angeles office, or you play in the Chicago office. So I was in the NBA. When I was young, I just said I wanted to be in the NBA. I wanted to be a Celtic because I was a Celtic fan. I love green and white, but the red, white, and blue in Detroit was my colors.
Well, I mean, and thanks for the call, Jason. I was in Michigan as a student when the bad boys were taking off.
Yeah.
Mahorn and Chuck Daly wearing those suits looking like John Gotti.
Oh, Daddy Rich.
And Isaiah. And Dumars was like one of the only likable guys, for New York Knicks fans sitting there in Detroit. You guys just started beating the crap out of people. Laimbeer I despised with a passion.
Really?
Yeah, what do you mean really? What do you mean really?
He is the true American.
I give you the floor.
He comes in, takes over. Probably, I had great teammates. Ralph Lewis, Chuck Nevitt. Glenn Rice, Willie Burton, and Brian Shaw. Matt Geiger. I love these guys. But Bill Laimbeer was about the team and winning. It took me until I came to my second Saturn return, that means 60, and it made me realize that Bill Laimbeer was the person who carved and chiseled steel against steel and was like, you have all this talent, stop wasting it.
That's what he told you?
Yeah, he said, hey, why do you miss foul shots? I said, what? He said, they're free and you can shoot. Put the ball in the basket. Every basket is worth $100,000 or $10,000. Man, I went from 68 to 79 to 80 because he didn't try to be my friend. He was the vet he was supposed to be. I didn't like a lot of things he did, but, the proof is in the pudding.
From the outside world, though,
that white on white crime got to stop. Rich, that white on white crime.
That's not what I'm saying. I mean, he was filthy.
No, he was
filthy.
He was
filthy.
I just saw something. I did the Byron Scott podcast, and I talked about Maurice Lucas.
Okay.
Now, Maurice Lucas was filthy. Maurice Lucas was no joke. To this point, if I see Maurice Lucas now from over there and he doesn't smile at me, I don't care if the door's that way. I'm taking the window. This is not a man that you joke with. So Bill Laimbeer played the way they played.
Yes.
He didn't. He reached down at the ball, he boxed you out, and he played every single moment. There was no lag in his game.
Well, there's somebody with an opposing point of view. Larry in French Lick, Indiana. You're on the radio. Well, come on, man.
Think about this.
Were you on the court for that one?
Yes, I was.
What happened?
What happened is
What had happened?
What had happened was, well, this is the deal. If Bill Laimbeer was on the Boston Celtics, he'd be Heinsohn,
Okay.
right? So he played like a Celtic, like Greg Kite. He would be a Celtic. He played hard. Whatever ability he had, he worked it. I'm telling you.
Sure. So, but what happened on the court that
happened
caused
is,
him to take down Larry and Larry to throw a basketball at him?
Okay, so what happened is Larry pump faked Dennis. Dennis went up and his leg got caught on Larry, and then Larry fell.
Okay.
They both jumped. But he didn't care that Dennis's leg was wrapped around his neck. He cared that Bill Laimbeer was that close to him. and he went at Bill. But Bill didn't do anything that we don't do in basketball until Your Highness, I'm sorry, the Messiah of life, I'm sorry, Michael Jordan came into the league. And you wasn't allowed to hit, but everybody was getting hit, right? So if a guard came into the lane,
Oh, yeah.
they were laying wood on him.
This was the Bad Boys era. Charles Oakley
But
was
the
now...
real bad boys were the Celtics, and it's funny because, what's his name? James Worthy said that. They was so dirty. Danny Ainge was Danny Ainge and Bill Laimbeer in one. He was, like, people wanted to kill... To this day, people want to kill Danny Ainge. Smart, good guy,
Right.
but, man, they want to go at him.
Including Ace Bailey?
Yes.
For drafting him. So when Larry threw the basketball, he was on, right? I mean, like, what happened then?
Well, he threw the basketball, and the referees said, Your Highness, you can't do that.
Come on.
And they didn't fine him. They didn't tech him. Nothing.
They didn't tech him.
No. No.
Well, maybe they thought
This
Bill
is crazy.
deserved it.
When Robert Parrish was beating up Bill, the referee was standing there watching it like the rest of us, did not move until Bill was on the ground. And Robert Parrish just got a technical foul and was allowed to sit down. I heard all of America was cheering at that time.
80s was different, man.
Yeah, it was at a point. I remember when guys were going to fight. I'm so happy I didn't play against Bob Lanier. Bob Lanier was left-handed, so that means he was going to fight southpaw, and you didn't want to deal with that. You didn't want to deal with somebody fighting southpaw.
Isn't that the line from Airplane?
Yes.
Right? For Kareem told the kid,
Yes.
You try dragging
No, he
Walton
said,
and
I
Lanier.
bust my butt every night up and down court. You tell your dad to try to drag Bob Lanier up and down.
Walton and Lanier.
Walton and Lanier,
It's
yeah.
one of the best lines.
But he wasn't acting, he was being the character.
That's called a full circle comment.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.